But Jason is almost exclusively a boobs guy, so I get it.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Taste Like Music. Jason, Joe, and Crams are here. Songs of the Year series moving right along. 2003. If you're new to this series or to the channel, basically what we do is we pick 10 of our favorite songs from the year. 5 of them have to come from the Billboard Hot 100. The other 5 can come from anywhere at all. One of our lists will be one song short because we save our favorite of the year for the very end of the video. And before we reveal our winner, we also make a pick for our least favorite top 40 song of the year. So that's what's about to go down. 2003, I thought was a little step backwards on the charts. Not quite as good. 2002 wasn't even great, but I think this is even a little weaker. Not a great year for the Hot 100. Wildcard side, though, pretty loaded. Tons of choices. So how you guys feeling about 2003?
I'd say almost exactly like the same rating for the billboards. I think 03 is a good bit deeper for my wild card picks. It's the first time in a few years, I think, where I have 5 different albums represented in my wild cards. So yeah, I had a lot to choose from, and I love all of these 5 wild cards for sure.
Strong year on the charts. I think strong relatively speaking, of course. But 2003, I think, pretty good year for albums. A lot of good stuff. I remember coming out, liking at the time. And yeah, I had trouble picking from these. It's getting tougher because these are the songs I'm like growing up with. And so like I'm not going with like the big hits anymore. I'm going with like the deep cuts now more. So I don't know about you guys, but I find the more I grew up with an album, like the more like I am to like remember, oh, I really love this song more so than, hey, I got to go through 50 albums. I remember liking this one because I hear it all the time. So it's interesting how that's changing for me.
I think Joe goes first this time since he went last time.
Yeah, sure. Why not? All right. On the charts, y'all are going to hate this one. But I got What Was I Thinking from Dierks Bentley on my list. It's pop country, yes, but the song has wonderful banjo and a surprisingly boisterous bass line for a country song. It's kind of lame pop country before that became a thing, really, but it's really well played. All the players are excellent on it, and it's silly fun. I think it's pretty good. Also on my chart, I'm going to go with Swing Swing from All American Rejects. It's just a really fun, poppy song. I think it nicks the chord progression from Don't Stop Believing by Journey. And that's just a damn good chord progression. Number 3, go with little Stacy's Mom, because she does have it going on. Fountains of Wayne, their one big hit on an album with lots of good songs. Good ironic, sardonic power pop. Glad they had a hit. I love this song. I remember everyone else hating it, but whatever. It's a great, homage to the Cars and power pop of yonder long ago. Number 2, I'm going to go with a little Outcast. They're back. My favorite track from the giant double album that is Speaker Box Love Below. Got to go with Roses. Love the doo-wop gospel piano cold open. Then it launches into one of the few collaborations that actually has Big Boy and Andre 3000 on the same track. But the lyrics are hilarious. The rapping's excellent. The backing track is great. It's just, sort of like Bombs Over Baghdad, but a lot more fun, I think, and a little less serious. So really great track. My number 1, though, it charted, so I gotta save it.
All right, my Hot 100 picks. A song that I remember distinctly Cram making fun of me for liking. He and my friend Brian. But Joe's got my back. I got Swing Swing, All American Rejects. Just good poppy rock tune. Kind of like what I had hoped Weezer would be doing. Instead, they were doing I don't know, whatever they were doing at the time. Wasn't as good as Swing Swing. Next pick for me, I'm going with Are You Gonna Be My Girl from Jet. They were kind of jumping on that garage rock revival a little bit, but they're throwing a little extra like 70s hard rock into the mix as well, a little AC/DC and Aerosmith in their blend of rock and roll. I thought it was cool. They had a huge backlash against them. I think Pitchfork or something wrote a terrible review. Plus, I think Cold Hard Bitch came across a little bit bro-y. So there was a big pushback on Jet, but I always thought they were all right. I don't think they really deserved the hate. Then I'm going with Just Because by Jane's Addiction. Great return to form from Jane's. Cool riffage from Navarro. Perry Farrell sounding great on that track. We discussed them recently. Another one in common with Joe, I've got Stacy's Mom. Love My Power Pop. It's a great tune. Nod to the Cars. The lyrics are kind of silly. It's a bit of a novelty song. Kind of a blessing and curse for Fountains of Wayne, because I don't think anyone ever really took them seriously after this, but they were a good power pop band, and they have a bunch of good albums. If I had to pick my favorite song from that record, it'd be Hey Julie. I think that song's tremendous, but couldn't fit it on my wild card side. And then my last one for the Hot 100, I'm going with Hey Ya. I think it's an utterly unique track. I think the production is really cool. Didn't sound like anything at the time. It was played to absolute death, and I never got tired of it. I think it's just basically a perfect pop song. Really cool.
Crazy. Yeah, Outcast rules. We came really close to doing them a few months ago, and probably collectively our favorite hip hop artist. Yeah, we did rip on you a lot for Swing Swing, and I still do. I remember we would like be in like a park, and me and Brian would be like, "Hey, Jason, there's a swing. You want to swing on it?" But Stacy's Mom is fine. I have no problem with that. Although I do think I disliked it when it came out, but now I'm kind of warmed up to it a little bit. I'm going with one I'm really surprised Joe didn't have, unless it's his winner. I've got Like a Stone by Audio Slave, which is a killer track. Cornell, even though his voice is a little meatier once you get to the Audio Slave era, still just absolutely kills it. And it's one of their most simple songs. Like I like this album a good bit, but this and I Am the Highway are just like these big, like kind of slow moving ballads where Cornell does the heavy lifting, and just absolutely fantastic. It's got great lyrics as well. Also thrown on Clocks by Coldplay, one of the most iconic piano riffs of our generation, without a doubt. It's pretty, it's bright, it's got a really cool hook to it, and it didn't really sound like much else going on at the time. Then I am going to just metamorphosis into a hip hop fan here for a second. I also have Hey Ya by Outkast. Really smooth, great melody. They're great melody writers. I love the soulful Hey Ya part, and the key lead in that chorus with like that is really cool. And the falsettos are great. I also have I Can by Nas. Granted, sampling Beethoven, never hurt anybody, but the rap is good. I also really like around this era when everyone was kind of using like those children choir accompaniments and everything. But this song actually has a really powerful, beautiful message. You know, it says like, read more, learn more, change the globe, hold your head up, little man, you're a king. Really cool. And then the album that would not go away this year in high school was by 50 Cent. I'm going with Into Club. Great beat, great production. I love the way that deep synth and the downbeats all kind of line up, and just the way it starts off with a go shorty, and then he kind of smooths it out in the chorus and gets more attitude. It's badass. I dig it.
Number 5, my favorite wild cards of the year. I'm gonna go with a little Reptilia from The Strokes. Best track from the very underrated Room on Fire. I just like the stronger emphasis on the guitar, which is fantastic. The guitar work on this song is amazing. It just feels fuller, a little more powerful, a little less trying hard to be arty than what the debut was. So probably my favorite Strokes song in general. Really great tune there. Number 4, I got Three Evils, Embodied in Light and Shadow from Coheed and Cambria. This is really where they brought out the heroic ending, which is a musical phrase or a chorus that just like repeats repeatedly until the song fades out. very emotional, but they blend prog and emo and pop and punk and hard rock, classic rock really well on that whole album. And that's probably my favorite from the album, but I love that album. It was my winner in 2003, in keeping Secrets of Silent Earth. Also on my list, get a little Radiohead action. They return to the world of rock and roll, at least a little bit. My favorite track from Hail to the Thief, got to be Go to Sleep. Just a simple guitar focused track, but the amount of dread just like wrapped around it is amazing. A brief comeback for Radiohead. They would leave me again, but at least they gave me that song and that album. Number 2, I'm going to go with a little AFI, but not the big hit, not Girls Not Gray. I'm going to go with Paper Airplanes, Makeshift Wings, just a big emo, screamo, punk anthem. They had better guitar, they had a better scream. It wasn't kind of like that wussy emo. This is more hardcore, flavored, speedier, faster. Really like that whole album from them. Paper Airplane's my favorite from that. And my number 1 for the year would be Muse. I'm gonna go with Hysteria. Just love that bass line so much. I've played it so many times. I never get tired of it. It's just a monster song, monster bass line. And that album didn't make my top 5 that year, but a very strong year. And that track stands out and alone for one of my favorite Muse songs ever.
All right, my wild cards. First one, going with Heartbeats by The Knife, Swedish electronic duo. I don't even know why this song hits so hard. It's pretty minimal and simplistic, but the synth sounds are really, really thick and rich. I think one of several songs responsible for that 80s revival that's still going on today to some degree. My next pick is going to be I'm a Cuckoo from Dear Catastrophe Waitress by Belle and Sebastian. Just a really delightful, buoyant little ditty. It's kind of like a rewrite of Radiohead's Creep for hipsters, and it's just wrapped in this joyful 60s pop. I love the nod to Thin Lizzy, and you don't really notice it at first, but like when you pay closer attention, actually the rhythm of the song is very much like Boys Are Back in Town, and they do these little like twee versions of the dual guitar leads that are kind of cool, kind of cute. Next up, I'm going with Joe's Head by Kings of Leon. Kings of Leon were one of the great rock bands for a minute before they got big and anthemic and got ideas of U2 in their head or something. The way this opens with that amazing melodic bass line, and then the guitar leads and the second guitar in the verse working off the bass. It's so cool the way the guitars and the bass interplay with each other. Caleb Followell's vocals are just manic and crazy, especially at the end. And it seems so loose and sloppy, but it's not. It's locked in, and I don't know. I think that's like a magic trick that only the best rock and roll bands can pull off, where it seems loose and sloppy, but they are just on it. And I think it's great. And then I'm going to go with Gone for Good from the Shins, from Shoots Too Narrow. Another one of those records where I could have picked almost any track. Just a very important and special album to me. But I think this song in particular is a great example of James Mercer's excellent songwriting, his crystal clear vocals, and really his ability to just stay out of his own way. The arrangement's not cluttered. It's a pretty straightforward, basic tune, just a little bit of pedal steel coming in here and there. And I just think it's a really great, simple track.
I pretty much like all of your guys' picks and share nothing in common with you at all. But to me, that's what makes the 2000s the second best, my second favorite decade there is. AFI rules, dude. Like, don't have to apologize for that. And you described it perfectly. They are just like the heavy metal version of the screamo, emo kind of scene. They're badass. All right, here's what I got. I also have one from Hail to the Thief. It is not Go to Sleep, but that was a great pick. I've got There. I think it's one of the more poetic pieces. I think the drum part is really cool. When they do it live, they have both, I think Ed and Johnny hitting like those big big drums at the same time, and it's got a really cool like arpeggio to it, and it's just got a really cool vibe. The lyrics are fantastic. I also have Today is the Day by Yola Tango from Summer Sun. And I might be the only person on earth that thinks Summer Sun is their best album, but it's totally cool. It's really beachy and beautiful, and every song just sounds like this like poem where you're just sitting on the beach overlooking the ocean with the waves coming in. It's got really cool slide piece to it. She sounds amazing. Her turn with the vocals. I've also got Ryan Adams. I think last week I alluded to just him getting a song every year. He seems to be the all-star of the 2000s so far for me. And I've got Burning Photographs from Rock and Roll, which is this amazing just power pop rock song. It's totally cool about like trying to get over someone and having to burn the photographs to do it. It's got an amazing simple guitar riff with just this delay on it that really just hooks you in. And then finally, from Explosions in the Sky, I've got First Breath After a Coma. This is probably the song everyone knows if you only know one song by them, but it's absolutely fantastic. It's all instrumental. It's like 7, 8, 9 minutes long, what have you. The drum work on it is absolutely fantastic, almost exclusively using the snare for a good bit of it. Builds it up perfectly. It's really cinematic. It tells an amazing story. It's got a lot of character to it. And I also love the guitar work where it's just these really simple, just like one note kind of rapid fire things. And it's composed just to be this big piece of emotion and heart. And it's simple, but tricky at the same time. Really hits home. I love it.
All right, doing the worst now. Another first for me. A 2-time worst song. I got Drift Away. This time, even worse. This is much worse than the original Dobie Gray version. Dobie Gray? I don't know. Dobie. Is it Dobie Gray? Yeah, this one sucks more. Uncle Cracker, who is just the worst. Anyone involved with Kid Rock sucks. And wasn't he the DJ for like? He doesn't deserve to be famous. There's another song by him, I think earlier, that I probably should have had. It's the worst. Follow Me, which is probably even worse. But Drift Away, he makes what I already don't think is a good song that much worse with his terrible singing. He's just so like laid back and lame. Can't stand the dude. So yeah, Drift Away, Uncle Cracker, really just terrible song. And it was a top 10, so it was like everywhere. It was very, very awful time in my life.
All right, my worst of the year. I had a bunch I was looking at. Most of them didn't crack the top 40. So I'm going with Genuine, In Those Jeans. I mean, it's a kind of a ridiculous song about a girl looking good in her jeans, but the lyrics are just really bad. Looking tasty, really scrumptious. Scrumptious is not a word that should be used in any song ever. Got on my ride, seen you from afar, and couldn't stop myself from looking hard. You wore those jeans, girl, you wore these jeans, and you made a thug want to cry something terrible. There are so many verses to this song, and they're all kind of long, and none of them say anything different other than how good she looks in the jeans. There's a whole verse where they're just listing brand names of jeans. It goes on and on. It's really dumb, and it's not good. Genuine.
I don't have a big problem with that song. But Jason is almost exclusively a boobs guy, so I get it. Like, just didn't really appeal to him. Like last week, I'm up in the air and I'm going to turn it over to you guys, although you didn't help me out here. But I also have Drift Away, Uncle Cracker, or Headstrong by Trapped, which I friggin' hate so much. It is like the ugliest hook I've ever heard in my life. Like, there is nothing as like, if you wrote Trapped and said like, what do you think of this chorus? I'd be like, I think you just got to rewrite it completely. Like just start from scratch, get rid of the lyrics, the sound, the instruments, everything. Just start over. Headstrong to take you home. It's just really, there's nothing musical about it. It's just terrible. I mean, we know Joe's going obviously, but
I mean, I think you should probably go with Trapped because you want to spread the hate around a little bit. You know, we got Dobie Gray, we got Drift Away back in the 70s, we got it now. Let's spread it around. Let's let Trapped in on the fun.
Drift Away is worse though. Drift Away is worse for sure.
Mm-hmm. All right. Yeah, I'll yeah, I got to go with Drift Away. It's just terrible. It's so bad.
All right. Well, I think we've talked about Drift Away for one lifetime. All right, winners 2003. This one surprised me, not because it won, but the year in which it won. This might be the first time I've had a single win where the album came out the next year. Usually it's the other way around. You know, you're pulling from Billboard stuff that didn't chart until following year. I did not realize that this song came out this early, and it is the beginning of an era, the Kanye West era. I got Through the Wire as my number one this year. This is one where it's so unique. I remember the first time I heard it, and for a long time I thought his name was Kanye West. Forgive me, Kanye, because I'm a white guy. What the hell do I know? But what I heard, the Chipmunk sped up sample of Chaka Khan's Through the Fire, which is excellent. That was Kanye's production style. He would take these soul and R&B, and, recognizable hooks and choruses, speed them up, add his own instrumentation behind it. Really, just hearing that. He did some work with Jay-Z prior to this. That was his thing. That really gets me. I love those R&B samples, and the way he just changed them up, made them his own, was really cool. And in this song, he's literally rapping with a wired up jaw. So he's going like this through the whole song. So it's just a completely unique, he's not a great rapper, but he's kind of awkward and endearing, or at least he was back then. This is back, fun Kanye. So, his rapping is awkward, but it's super unique. He's very wordy and literate, and just choosing all these interesting words that you just didn't hear too much from rap. It was completely away from gangster rap, completely away from anything anyone else was doing at the time. And I just thought it was so cool. Just everything about it. Loved it the second I heard it. And started a love affair with Kanye West's music that, I don't know if it lasts through Donda. That might be the tipping point for me. But back here in the early 2000s, it was alive and well. So Through the Wire, Kanye West rapping with a broken jaw over a sped up Chaka Khan sample. I know, it sounds amazing. My winner for 2003.
All right. This was a tough year for me to pick a winner. There wasn't like that one song that I was like, obviously, that's the one. Like there's albums like Shoots Too Narrow where I love all of the songs, but there's like not that one that rises to the top. So I was kind of like sifting through a lot of tunes. I don't have a big speech about this one. I just think it's a really good song. I'm going with Golden by My Morning Jacket. I think it's just really cool, well written. I love the sound of it. I love the way it feels. It feels like you're rolling down a desert highway, kind of like the song is describing a little bit. I love those little crying guitar leads. I think they're really effective. I just think it's great. Also, interesting to note, the band America covered Golden. Check it out.
Wow, that is kind of cool. Golden song, I believe, is kind of about playing live in front of bars and about bar live performances in general. I love that song. My song of the year choice was a slam dunk. I do not have a huge speech, but it is a song that was like our song with me and a girl past my life. And it is My Morning Jacket with Just One Thing. Absolutely tremendous. It's hauntingly beautiful. It's really romantic. It's got this tremendous synth part behind it, which just creates this amazing atmosphere. Love the way, like I said, over and over again, they're now a 2-time winner. That they just have that really hollow, beautiful country sound on these early albums. The lyrics to this one are really simple. It's just over and over. Baby, there's just one thing that does it for me. We'll find a way. We'll go out for a day. And I want it so bad. It's the first thing I see when I wake. That's the whole song. And it's just incredibly touching, and it just hits all of the right notes. Jim James just sounds amazing. Golden is a great choice too. So hopefully we can defeat Joe's bleeps and bloops, previously recorded bleeps and bloops.
Although now I feel like I should go back and replace Kanye with One Big Holiday to do the trifecta for My Morning Jacket. I actually forgot that song came out this year. It would have pushed for my list.
Yeah, I got to think Joe's going to take the win there with us splitting the My Morning Jacket vote. I think it might win anyways, even if we weren't splitting a vote. But if you don't know and you're new to the series or to the channel, you can vote for which of our song of the year is your favorite. Head over to our website. The link is in the video description. Before you leave to vote, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell for notifications, leave a comment on what you think of our selections, and leave your own list. All right, that's it. Thanks for watching, everybody. We will see you in the next one.